I was scrolling through Instagram stories on the couch, legs tucked under me, when the photo hit like a door slamming in my face. There they were, my three closest friends since college, arms linked, champagne glasses raised, fairy lights strung behind them like stars they'd hung themselves. The caption? Best night with my favorite people. Tagged everyone but me. The location pin glowed, the Rosewood Loft, the same venue we talked about renting for years, the same one I'd sent the mood boards for last spring. My thumb froze mid-swipe. The room got very quiet except for the refrigerator humming like it was trying to fill the sudden hole in the air. I tapped their profiles. More photos. Group selfies. Videos of them laughing so hard one of them spilled wine. Not a single empty space where I should have been. Just absence. Mine. I set the phone down carefully, like it might explode if I moved too fast. My chest felt tight, the way it does right before you cry but haven't decided to yet. I walked to the kitchen, opened the fridge, stared at the half carton of oat milk like it held answers, closed it, opened it again. Nothing changed. For the first few days, I told myself it was a mistake. Maybe the tag didn't go through. Maybe they'd posted a separate story for me later. I kept checking. Nothing. Then the excuses started shrinking. They were busy planning. They forgot. They assumed I was out of town. But deep down, I knew. I'd felt the shift for months. The shorter replies, the canceled brunches, the way conversations curved around me instead of through me. I just hadn't wanted to name it. The night of the event, I stayed home in sweatpants, lights low, takeout containers scattered on the coffee table. I didn't stalk the stories again. I didn't need to. I already knew every angle of that room. Instead, I sat in the dark and let the hurt stretch out until it filled every corner. My phone buzzed once, a text from my mom asking how my week was. I typed fine and deleted it. Typed nothing, sent nothing. Weeks passed in a kind of gray fog. I went to work, smiled at coworkers, answered emails. At home, I stopped cooking real meals. Cereal straight from the box, coffee gone cold in the mug. I avoided our group chat like it was radioactive. When one of them texted, "Miss you, let's catch up soon," I stared at it for 20 minutes before typing, "Yeah, soon," and hitting send. I hated how small that made me feel. The anger came later, slow at first, then all at once. I'd catch myself replaying old memories, the time we stayed up until dawn planning dream weddings, the road trip where we screamed lyrics out the windows, the night I cried on Lauren's couch after my breakup and she held me until I could breathe again. Those moments felt stolen now, like I'd been auditioning for a role they'd already recast. One Saturday, I was cleaning out my closet, mindless, punishing work, when I found the box, the one we decorated together senior year with magazine clippings and glitter glue. Inside were ticket stubs, Polaroids, a napkin with all our signatures and the words "Forever Crew" written in Sharpie. I sat on the floor holding it, dust floating in the sunlight, and something broke open. Not tears at first, just this hot, quiet fury. They didn't get to keep the good parts and erase me from the rest. That was when the idea came. I looked up the Rosewood Loft online. Their booking calendar was public. The next big open date was 3 months out, a Saturday night slot. I called. The event coordinator sounded surprised when I said I wanted the whole place. No sharing, full buyout. She quoted a number that made my stomach flip. I transferred the deposit anyway, used the savings I'd been hoarding for a kitchen reno I never started. It felt reckless. It felt right. I didn't tell anyone at first, not even my sister. I just planned, quietly, methodically. Caterer, lighting, a jazz trio because I'd always loved live music and they'd always talked over it. I invited 40 people, not them. People I'd drifted from over the years, old coworkers, neighbors, a few college friends who'd moved away and still texted on birthdays. I invited my mom. I invited the barista who always remembered my order. I invited people who never made me feel optional. The night arrived fast. I wore the black dress I'd bought for a date that never happened. I stood in the middle of the empty loft before anyone showed up, lights dim, candles flickering on every table. The space smelt like cedar and possibility. My hands shook a little. Not nerves exactly, more like standing at the edge of something I couldn't take back. People came, slowly at first, then in waves. Laughter bounced off the high ceilings. Someone started a playlist we all knew the words to. My mom hugged me so tight I could feel her heartbeat. A woman I barely knew from yoga told me this was the most beautiful night she had in years. I didn't explain why I'd done it. I didn't have to. They just showed up and stayed. Around midnight, I stepped outside onto the terrace. The city lights blurred below. Cool air hit my face. I leaned on the railing and closed my eyes. For once, the silence wasn't heavy. It was soft, like someone had finally stopped talking over me. I didn't text them that night. I didn't post. I didn't need proof. A week later, Lauren reached out. Saw you had an event at Rosewood. Looked amazing. Wish we could have been there. I read it twice, typed thanks, and sent it. No more. No explanation, no invitation to make up. Just thanks. Then I put my phone down and went to water the plants I'd started keeping alive again. Some nights I still drive past that building on my way home. The windows glow gold. I don't feel the old ache anymore. Not sharp, anyway. More like a bruise that's fading. I learned that belonging isn't something you beg for. It's something you build. Sometimes with glitter glue and Sharpie, sometimes with a credit card and a lot of stubborn hope. I still miss what we used to be. The easy laughter, the inside jokes, the feeling of being chosen without trying. But I don't miss waiting to be chosen. I choose myself now, every day, in small, quiet ways that no one has to applaud. And somehow that feels bigger than any party they could have thrown.